From the books, a total of 1,222,000 fire incidents was recorded from January to August in the year 2015. While that may be a disturbing figure and a source of worry, the response time of firefighting and other forms of disaster like road and air accidents, floods and others in Nigeria appear a bigger worry as lives and property which could have been saved have been lost in many instances. We are not discussing those figures. Understandably, the focus has always been on the incidences, the outcomes, and perhaps the rescue of lives and property. How about sparing a moment to look a little to the other side? The personnel who are constantly called up to duty, the fireman.
It's somebody who develops the interest, who has assigned that is ready to serve the people. Somebody who is committed to saving lives and property of the citizenry. Somebody who, with all cost, with whatever it will cost him, that's a fireman.
You call them fire service, but clearly, these men, a growing list of servicemen whose primary responsibility is to save life, are becoming a strong community that dates back to time.
You see, my job is somewhat distinct from all other uniform bodies that you have mentioned, in the sense that a fireman is always on duty. Others, I don't want to believe that they are always on duty. The reason behind it is if there's an emergency, if there's an outbreak of fire in any nooks and crannies of this state, if you are not on duty, if you are a fireman, you can't sit at home and say you won't go and join others to put out the fire, because you are so much committed to it. It's an adage within us here that fireman is always on duty. So you may not necessarily need an equipment you need to take to the scene. What you just need to do is to go and join hands with others that are there and ensure that you put out the fire.
Why will anyone choose a vocation that has so much hazards as a working condition? When seeking for job openings, the choices on the bucket list of wishes are not likely to favor the options of becoming a fireman. Still, some folks would rather have the job or nothing. Are these men ordinary?
The first thing is interest matters. You must know that this kind of job that you want to go and do, or you want to take up, that you have interest, that you're going to commit yourself to it.
After the decision has been made, a journey starts, and it all begins here, the Fire Service Training School. The rigor and energy dispensed ensures a healthy, fit, and mentally stable mind.
Half right turn. From your left leg, come in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Understanding the technique and use of the hose, for instance, is not reserved for any special unit. Everyone must undergo and understand the use of the hose. Whether on the field or in the classroom, the training is encompassing. I'm told the training prepares you for the rage that comes often with an inferno.
So when you come in, you will have to take up the compulsory basic training, which is very, very important. It's not the kind of job that you come. Some, during the course of the training, they will tell you, they didn't tell them that they are going to undergo training. Probably think they are just coming to come and sit in the office. There is no room for office work in the fire service. Why I said there is no room for office work is not as if we don't have people in various offices, or we have various sections. So, but if there's an emergency, a serious one, if people that are in the operations have been dispatched to the scene, and more men are required at that scene or elsewhere, there are several other emergencies, then everybody in the offices will be drafted to the scene. So you have to undergo that compulsory basic training, which will take you up to 6 months. During the course of the training, discipline starts from the very first day you report at the training school.
The job in this community is a job of emergency. From the school days, you are taught not to stroll or walk. The movement is called a double space movement. As a job requiring a team cohesion and coordination to achieve results, every member of the ecosystem is knowledgeable in every aspect of the job.
My right leg raise. Lower. Raise. Lower.
Are these people heroes? Can citizens begin to see them as heroes? Well, the perception from the streets may not favor the work essence and energy exerted and risk of the job done by these personnel. This is the narrative they want to change for the better.
Virtually almost everybody, if you don't have somebody that is a fireman that is very close to you, you won't believe when it tells you that there's never any time that a fire truck is taken to the scene of emergency without water in it. It's very funny when you hear people saying fireman or fire service takes a vehicle to the scene of emergency empty. I don't know, because if there is an outbreak of fire, people will see you as a messiah. People are expecting the fire service, and you now go to the scene of emergency with empty tank and get there and announce to them, sorry, I don't have water. It does not happen. You can't leave that place without not being maimed, because what's the essence of going there? If you don't have water, you will never even go there at all if you don't have water. So it is an erroneous belief. It's superstitious that a fire truck is taken to the scene of emergency without water. That is one. You see, what people doesn't understand is when you take a vehicle to the scene of emergency, it has its own water capacity. The whole of the vehicle could be big, like the one you have seen. It's not as big as the vehicle, so as big or as much as the water that is in it. You have seen that the sided ways are lockers that contains tools. So the tank is in between. So it's just about 3,000 liters. So when you now take a vehicle to the scene of emergency and you exhaust the water, by the time you are going back to replenish, anybody that sees it, just for only one person to say, they didn't bring water, others will just echo it. They didn't bring water, hey, look at them, they are running away. So they are not bothered about whether you have expended the water there. You see, the public as well needs to be more sensitized, and we are doing it, but we'll continue doing it. If there's an emergency, and instead of you to quickly escalate, send a distress call to the fire service, you want to start packing your personal belongings. You want to be salvaging it yourself. While you are doing it, the rate at which fire burn is always very rapid. So the rapidity at which fire burns will quickly make it to escalate. And before you know it, it ravages the whole of the place. So anytime there's an emergency, the first thing you must do is to see the position where you are, if you are safe. So look for a very safe place. Immediately you look for a very safe place, send a distress call to the fire service. I've always been saying it. If it is easy for us to memorize the numbers of our appearances, why will it not be easy for you to memorize the emergency number that's going to save your life and the lives of your fellow human being? And you can imagine the numbers have been made very easy for us to memorize. So there needs for us to internalize it. So if you are waking up, if you are slumbering and you are waking up, if you are sleeping and you are waking up, and they ask you of the number, you don't need to think twice. And that is why it is made that very easy. 3 digits, 767 or 112. Either you have money on your phone or not. Very, very crucial. So let us make sure that we take to this. It's one of the best dividends of democracy. As we in the safety and emergency response balance, one of the biggest dividends of democracy is that toll-free line, 767 or 112. We need to internalize it. You don't need to start calling someone else. Moreover, the fire service still have their own direct line, which is 080-3323-5891, direct to the fire service as well. So let us join hands together to make sure that we keep our lives safe and safer. Very important.
So when next you see any operator adorning the navy blue uniform, just bear in mind quickly that there goes yet another citizen who has signed up to save lives. How did the cliche fire brigade approach enter our lexicon? Whenever that expression is used, it's most often represent a negative comment referring to a last-minute response to what should have been done earlier than the response happened. Unpreparedness, procrastination, on and on. That's the branding that needs to change, and it doesn't in any way represent what the firemen do. On the contrary, they are always ready for emergency. It's time to begin a change in that narrative. Thanks for being a part of our show. Join us again next week. Bye for now.